Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Bank on Women hosted by Sabastro. I'm CEO of Biz Credit Builds, and today I wanted to get into personal credit. Everything that you need to know that has to do with personal credit. Now, when you're working on your business credit, it's essential that you know what's on your personal credit reports. Lots of times we do ourselves a disservice, or we go to apply for something and first thing they say is, how's your personal credit? And most of us are hesitant to be like, my credit is not too good, or I don't have the best credit, or I don't have a strong profile. So I'm going to show you today essentially how to pull your credit, how to know exactly what's on your credit report, and how to dispute some items for free, because free is important. So a lot of us are out here paying for credit repair services when most things you can essentially do for free. Okay. So I want to point everybody in the direction of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Who is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, right? So the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is essentially a government agency that protects people like you, consumers, on the financial side. And I'm going to put the link down in the comments because I think it's super important that you guys literally contact them if you need to, and at the same time, read through the things that they have on their website, because they serve all of us. If you've ever, they provide consumer education, but most importantly, they ensure that banks, lenders, and financial companies treat you fairly, including the credit bureaus. So me as a licensed broker, I have to abide by their rules, and I also have to comply with their regulations. And if I don't, then somebody like you can submit a complaint on their website, and it would essentially, they would essentially have the respondent, the lender, the banking institution, the credit bureau respond in a certain amount of time, and they basically govern those policies. So I wanted to shine light on a couple of things. So when we're in the midst of fixing or building our business credit, it's essential that, many families understand that education on the financial side and financial literacy is key. So the premise or the point of all of this is for you to get a pen and paper and write some of these things down, take notes, and then when you get offline with me, you can go research it yourself, and I can totally guarantee that some of this is going to apply to you. So when we talk about resources when it comes to business credit, most people automatically shy away from it because they're uneducated about it. So the most important thing to finding out anything in concerns to the Consumer Finance Bureau is knowing what's on your reports. So most people are afraid or haven't looked at their reports because they are afraid what's on them. Now, keep in mind that your credit reports and your scores have an impact on your finances. So the resources that they provide help you better understand them, learn how to correct errors, and improve your credit record over time. Notice they're not saying credit score, they're saying your credit record, because there are several things that are important on your credit reports but it's your record that counts. That's the most important thing. You want to make sure that your credit reports are accurate, and you want to make sure that the scores that you have are not being affected by inaccuracies. So number one is knowing the data that's on your credit report. So most people do not understand how to pull their reports. And there are a whole bunch of consumer issues that you guys go through, like your application being denied because your actual score, you don't have enough credit history, and you want to build your credit record, or you think you have been a victim of identity fraud. So understand that knowing your rights is super important, and requesting your credit reports is one of the big ones. So when you request your credit report, it's super easy. You are entitled to a free credit report every 12 months from 3 major credit consumer reporting companies like Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Now, checking your own credit is not an inquiry, but if a lender, a banking institution, or someone like myself does it, it may affect your score. In fact, reviewing your credit report regularly can help you ensure that the information on your credit reporting agencies that they share with lenders, that it's up to date. So just keep that in mind. Now, I want you to understand that I shared with you, literally a lot of information in a little bit of time, right? So how do I actually pull these reports? So there is a link called the Annualcreditreport.com. And I'm going to put the link in the bio. In the comments. And the Annualcreditreport.com essentially is the only source authorized by federal law to give you your credit reports for free, right? And what they have done essentially is, because of the pandemic, it allows you to get a free credit report on a weekly or monthly basis. Monthly basis for free on this website. Now, there are some stipulations that they're asking for. And to request these reports, they essentially are asking for you to verify your identity. So they've asked some personal questions that have to do with your personal past, or they are going to essentially ask you information that's on one of these 3 reports. They may ask for the color of your first car, or what was the year, make, and model, what's your mother's maiden name. And these questions change on a regular basis. So you have to make sure that when you request it, you are requesting it from a desktop, not your phone, or a laptop, not your phone, because there are security software that they use behind the scenes that may block you. And what you don't want to do is use up your free credit report once per month during pandemic, once per year when COVID is not in effect. And you want to make sure that you get all 3 reports and you download them, because the importance of doing this is to save this to your computer, or maybe even print it out. You're going to need a lot of paper because credit reports are fairly long, and point out or highlight the inaccuracies. Right? Keep in mind that Annual Credit Report is the official site to get your free annual credit reports. And they're also on the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau's website. Don't be fooled by lookalike links. You can assure you that the right site that you type in is the exact link that we put in the comments. It's www.annualcreditreport.com. Literally, the site is maintained by a central source and it's governed by the federal government. So make sure of that. Now, there are 3 credit reporting bureaus. Equifax is one of them. And Equifax essentially is headquartered in Atlanta. It operates and has investments in 24 countries. So they're everywhere. And what they do is they're a global information solutions company that uses trusted, unique data, analytics, and technology to in the industry to enterprise, empower organizations or individual around the world to transform knowledge into insight and help companies, lenders, banking institutions, and everybody make more business and personal decisions that have to do with credit. So the company organizes, assimilates, and analyzes data on more than 820 million consumers and more than 91 million businesses worldwide. It includes employee data contributed for more than 71,000 employers. So Equifax also measures your risk on the business side, right? So they literally are one of the oldest companies that are credit bureaus, and they do other things like I mentioned. Experian is the leading global information source company. On top of Equifax, they provide data and analytic tools to clients around the world. The group helps businesses manage credit risk, prevent fraud, target marketing offers, and automate decision making. It also helps you check your personal credit report and scores against identity theft. Right? TransUnion is a global leader in credit information and credit information management services. It's worked together with businesses and consumers to analyze, deliver critical information to build strong economies throughout the world. So the results are twofold. Business can better manage risk and customer relationships, and consumers can better understand and manage credit to achieve financial goals. So I want you to understand that there is a Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act that requires information and computer technology, as well as web content guidelines around the world to essentially be accessible. So if you are blind, or if you need larger print, or if you even need audio format, you can request those, right? Because of this act. So you can merely give them a call, and the phone number is on here. Put it on here. So there is, they serve everybody. And because of that act, you can merely call them to that number and they will give it to you however you like. Big print, little print, braille, audio. They're going to make sure that you get it. Now, keep in mind that when you are requesting these reports, that again, they're still going to verify your information. So just keep that in mind. Now, it is important that we literally understand that you should review your information on a regular basis. What do I mean by that? You can go on to here, and I would do it monthly now because you're eligible to get it monthly, but it is so important that you make it your business to literally get a free report. That's the first thing. Now, you can also get a free report if any of the following things happen to you. If you receive a notice that you were denied credit, insurance, or employment, or even experience adverse action based on your credit report, you have the right within 60 days of that denial to see why. If you believe that your file is inaccurate due to fraud, if you feel like somebody used your information without your permission, I definitely would call them and be like, hey, I believe I'm a victim of fraud, and they will essentially send you a free report. If you requested a fraud alert, you can get a free copy. If you are a recipient of public welfare assistance, if you have an EBT, or if you're getting medical assistance of any time, you can get a free report at any time. Now, again, be cautious of websites. If it doesn't say www.annualcreditreport.com, do not go on there. All right. So again, I'm going to put on here how you get these reports. And please, please, please write this down. You guys should be requesting these things on a regular basis. And once you do that, again, we're going to be looking for inaccuracies. So again, knowing the credit report is important, but the information on your report is even more important. So inaccuracies, or learning how to what to look for on your credit report, is super important. There are a list of things that you can do to prevent people from getting into your information, and putting a security freeze on your credit reports is one of them. So a security freeze on your report prevents new creditors from assessing your file and others from opening new accounts in your name. We see credit freezes very regularly from consumers who have experienced fraud, because most businesses will not open new credit accounts without checking your credit report. And if it's frozen, then they can't do that. So you always have the right to do that. So there's this thing called the Fair Credit Report Act, and it promotes, literally, most people call it FCRA, but it promotes accuracy, fairness, and privacy of files of consumer reporting agencies. So there are types of consumer reporting agencies, including credit bureaus and specialty agencies. There's about 21 of them that just sell information about your check writing history, medical records, rental history, derogatory items, everything that you can think about. But the most important thing is that these things have to be accurate, right? So it is important that we know what is on our reports, because if we don't know what's on our reports, then we can't essentially, it's not right for them to report that inaccurate information. So the first thing that you do is that you pull your credit reports. And once you pull your credit reports, I would look for your demographic information. Your first and last name should be spelled across all three bureaus the same way. Your social security number should be the same across all three bureaus the same way. And you should essentially only have one address unless you have a forwarding address. But I would make sure that your job is accurate. All of that information is accurate. 99% of the people who come to me for lending, I have to make them do this. Now, there are letters that are on here for free that would help you dispute those things for free. So you can come on to here and literally they have sample dispute letters that will essentially help you dispute with an institution or even with a credit reporting agency in concerns to all of that information. Now, if you are disputing your demographic information, that would be sent directly to the credit bureaus. So on these sample letters that are on here, it would definitely tell you that information. Now, if you are disputing with a data furnisher, which is a lender who is reporting that you have derogatory items, you should contact them directly. Now, again, furnishers use this information, and this information is collected from several resources. So when you go to print out this template, fill in your personal information, edit the information in the brackets to reflect your address, and specify all the inaccuracies that you are disputing. If you need several items, then I would print out a separate letter for each, use a separate template for each item, right? Print out the letter, right? And you may want to consider using a return receipt request for proof that that company got it. And that proof you keep for your records with a copy of the letter, right? And send copies and keep your originals of everything. Ensure the errors have been removed by requesting confirmation form from the credit reporting agency or company, right? And then again, in the letter, it will have your full name, account number. Make sure that you have the account number, your date of birth, your address, your driver's license number, your social security number, today's date, then the company's name, the company address, the report name. So if it's Equifax, that's who you're gonna be contacting, and then the number of each item you would like corrected. So the account number, the dates of the disputed information, and your explanation of the inaccuracy. And then at the bottom, I would put enclosures and list any documents that you are including. I always like to put a copy of my social security number, a copy of my ID, and literally you're asking for original proof that this item is essentially yours. And if they can't provide you that in 30 days, then you need to, again, contact the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau and let them know, like, hey, I put a complaint into Equifax and they did not answer me in 30 days. I have proof. Here is my receipt that I sent it certified mail. Here's what I sent them, and they are going to contact them on your behalf with your proof. So The second letter is when you're writing a letter to the furnisher. I'm sorry, the credit reporting company instead of the furnisher. So keep in mind that these are going to be two different type of letters. And the premise of it is for you to, one, make sure that everybody is on the same page, and two, that they have your information in order. So it's the same thing: account number, sources of disputed information. So, hey, I got this from my credit report, and here's a copy of that report, and then an explanation of what's being literally disputed. Now, on there, you can put my report includes accounts with reported name that is different from mine. I don't recognize the account in question. Please send me proof that this is my account. My report shows I owed money to a company that I already paid. The current status of my account is not correct. I'm a victim of identity theft, or other could be like, this account is more than 7 years old. It's not supposed to be reporting on my account. But these are all templates and things that you can do yourself. Now, once you do that, you're going to start seeing your score moving and your report improving itself. Now, for me, if you have a thin or no credit, right, there are things that you can essentially do to build your credit score and your FICO score. And on here, it essentially gives you some recommendations as to how to do that. Now, I gave you a whole lot of information in concerns to how to get these reports, how to dispute inaccuracies for free, and how to fix the information on your reports. The hope is that you took in this information and that you put it into use, and that you share it with someone else. This is public information and it's free for everyone. And I definitely want everyone to take advantage of this information. We need to take some earnest and responsibility on what we have on our reports, and we need to make it our fiduciary responsibility to check it on a regular basis. So after this live, go pull your report, go check your inaccuracies, take a highlighter, highlight those things, and start off the year with a clear report. All right. Thank you for tuning in for Bank on Women, hosted by me, Sarah Sabastro, CEO of Biz Credit Builds. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.